Hi, Jenny from Ren Herbal. In the previous videos, we've talked about the role that digestive imbalance plays when you experience reflux, bloating, digestive imbalance, fatigue, and so on. But there's another important part that sits right alongside gut health when we start trying to understand why illness develops, and that is inflammation. Inflammation is a word that gets used a lot in health conversations, but it's often misunderstood. Many people hear the word and immediately think of something harmful or something that needs to be suppressed. But the truth is, inflammation itself is not the enemy. In fact, inflammation is one of the body's most important protective mechanisms. Whenever the body detects damage, infection, irritation, or toxins, the immune system responds by creating inflammation. This process increases blood flow to the affected area, brings immune cells to help deal with the problem, and it begins the process of repair. So, if you cut your finger or develop a minor infection, inflammation is part of the reason your body is able to heal. In that sense, inflammation is actually a sign that the body is doing its job. Under normal circumstances, this response is temporary. The body identifies a problem, triggers an inflammatory response to deal with it, repairs the damage, and then the inflammation settles down again. However, in many chronic health conditions, that process doesn't switch off properly. Instead of short bursts of inflammation that help the body recover, the body remains in a low-grade inflammatory state for months or even years for some people. And this is what we refer to as chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation has now been linked to a wide range of ongoing health issues. People experiencing chronic inflammation may develop symptoms such as fatigue, digestive discomfort, joint pain, headaches, skin problems, hormonal imbalances, brain fog, immune dysfunction. Conditions such as autoimmune disorders, metabolic issues, and many inflammatory diseases often have this ongoing inflammatory process occurring somewhere within the body. One of the key places where this process can begin is within the digestive system itself. As we discussed in earlier videos, the digestive tract, it's not just responsible for breaking down food, it also acts as a barrier between the outside world and the internal environment of the body. In a brief summary, everything we eat, drink, breathe in or swallow, or even have on our skin passes through this system. The gut lining has the important task of allowing beneficial nutrients to pass through while keeping potentially harmful substances out of the bloodstream. If this lining has become compromised, that's what is called gut permeability, or more commonly known as leaky gut. When the lining of the digestive system becomes compromised, substances that would normally remain inside the digestive tract can begin to cross into the bloodstream. When the immune system encounters these substances circulating through the bloodstream, it may interpret them as a potential threat. It activates immune defenses and produces inflammatory chemicals designed to protect the body. If this happens occasionally, then the body can usually deal with that effectively. But when this process happens repeatedly over long periods of time, the immune system can remain in a constant state of activation. So over time, this ongoing immune stimulation can contribute to chronic inflammation throughout the body. This is one of the reasons symptoms can appear in places that don't seem directly related to the digestive system. For example, someone might experience joint pain, skin irritation, fatigue, sinus issues, headaches, autoimmune symptoms, even though the underlying drivers may be linked to inflammation originating in the gut. So I'm not saying that every health condition begins in the digestive system, but through my treatment of clients, I reckon that a high percentage of health conditions do start there. So rather than simply trying to suppress inflammation, it can be far more helpful to ask yourself a different question. Why is my body feeling the need to create inflammation in the first place? When we begin to explore that question, we often uncover underlying contributors that may be placing stress on the body. These can include factors such as digestive irritation, microbial imbalance, toxic burden, chronic stress, infections, and other disruptions to the body's natural balance. By identifying and addressing these underlying influences, the body often becomes better able to regulate its immune responses and gradually reduce unnecessary inflammation. So, understanding this process can also help explain why symptoms sometimes appear in seemingly unrelated areas of your body. When inflammation is present throughout the body, it can affect tissues, organs, and systems far beyond the digestive tract. This is why someone might experience skin issues, fatigue, brain fog, joint discomfort, or autoimmune reactions, even when the original triggers may involve digestive or immune stress. Understanding these connections can be an important step in helping your body move away from chronic inflammation and back towards balance and recovery. So I've tried to make this explanation pretty simple to help you find your way in your health journey. If you do feel that you would like support in finding what your cause is, I do offer a free 10-minute information call that you can book prior to signing up for an initial consultation with me. All you need to do is click on the link below and book a time that suits you.